Okay, hello. Welcome. Yeah. So, one question I have is what the reform movements even are. General idea about it. The reform movement is basically like events that happened in the 1830s through the 1870s. That's when it started and ended, so
Oh, no.
And then that goes to my other question. What are the reform movements? And so there are 5 movements that I'm going to be doing today. So, because 5 main ideas, 5 movements and so yeah. That's basically what I'm doing. So, yeah. So, basically, some movements are the temperance movement, the common school movement, mostly all are going to say movement. So, don't get crazy if I say movement a lot. I already said it like movement, 20 times, 5 times, 6 times, I don't know. Bro, 5, no, yeah. Okay, 6 now. So anyways, as I said, there was a temperance movement in school, common school movement. There was some slavery going on that's called abolition. I don't know how to say it. It will be on screen or something. Abolition, women's rights. And then there's one more. What do you think it's gonna be? I'm hoping that ill people, slavery and prison and yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what the reform movements are. The temperance movement. So in the mid 1800s. Vast majority of people had a consumption of alcohol, and per person, the consumption of alcohol in 1 year is 7 gallons. Jeez, that is just a lot of liquor and alcohol combined. The glasses of liquor and alcohol were very tiny, and so for glasses and so. They had about this much for a glass, and they kept on drinking. Yeah, boasted what? Most likely that people were very drunk. Whenever you look at a corner, they drunk. And so hey, how's it going? You want to drive me home? Okay, I don't want to trust you. Okay, so my green screen fell, so I had to fix that. And so, anyways, Abraham Lincoln in 1812 noticed that liquor was a sign of angel of death, and people were unaware about the negative impact, negative consequences in their life if they drank it. So, either that, then William D. Butcher, said a rule that if anyone drank liquor or so, they would be lectured. Yeah, that's a bad thing to happen. So that's it for the temperance movement. We have the common school education, and you probably know what that means, education at school, and there was very different things between this time. They were separated by groups of male and female about the gender. Between the time at the beginning of the movement. People didn't have to go to school. They weren't forced or anything. But if parents forced them, then they had to go. Subjects they had was math, English, history, and science. Those were the common subjects, you should say, because common. Horace Mann was like a whole school movement educator, and then forced people to go to school. Now they just made it worse for their lives. And then after school, they would finish school by the age of 10, right? You're like, that's crazy. Like, oh my goodness, that is crazy. Just like, if you joined school by age of 7, then you would have 3 years of education. They didn't have that much of education. They had limited education, so they're limited. And then after school, it's basically the normal routine of a job. And they can work on a farm or a facility. That's that. Okay, so we are going into the mentally ill people, caring for them. What do you think about this? Whenever you just hear this for the first time, you think oh, they just helped mentally ill people. Well, it's more than that, just caring for people. Well, it was basically a prison movement and so, and where they had mentally ill people combined with the criminals and so. And if you're mentally ill, boom, prison. Really, if you're ill, you just go in prison. Is that really fair? I don't think so. And then soon enough, Abraham Lincoln. Actually, it was in the prison movement. I said Abraham Lincoln, even though it was supposed to be the Massachusetts governor. I don't know. I was just thinking about the temperance movement and, saying in 1812, Abraham Lincoln about the temperance movement. So, yeah, I don't know why I made a mistake, because I was just thinking ahead or something. Okay, so for your information, Abraham Lincoln did not do anything in the prison movement. What he did is nothing in the prison movement. So he did something in the temperance movement. Just saying that so you won't be confused. Because, yeah, you don't want to learn the wrong thing, do you? I don't think so. Or do you? I don't know. I don't know what your brain's thinking, but okay. Let's continue with the video. Just decided to split the criminals and the mentally ill people in sections. One section is mentally ill, and then the other section is criminals, basically. Yeah, that's that for the right now. The time being. And also, whenever, yeah, I don't know why I was looking at the green screen. No? Tell me, why am I looking at the green screen? Okay, children and adults had to go by the same rules what children do, but if children were in prison and so, they would be forced to beg or steal food. Seriously, that is illegal, but that's their only way to survive. Same as young adults. Their only way to survive is to be forced to beg or steal. I think most, everyone in the class would just, steal the whole entire thing. Give me one.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So now for the final thing in the helping the mentally ill people / like the prison movement is that children had to work hard, and so just like they didn't really say that for my information about my knowledge about it that adults had to work or anything. I'm pretty sure they did, because if children worked, don't you think like criminals and young adults or just adults would work as well? Or is it just like the children just like, make me be buff? You're just like, I don't think it's like that. Just saying for like saying it out there. Now we're introducing So in the women's education, since they separated the common school from the male and female, so women's education was like limited, same as their schools, and so they had the same rule. They had limited education. So like women became so refined and like intelligent, and the educator of Emma Willard to establish a college level institution for women, like for like the first of the United States. Women took classes in the variety of subjects ranging from mathematics to psychology, and over and more than 12,000 women attended school between 1821 and 1872. Women had the right to vote during this time, and then soon later enough they didn't have the right to vote. They just like removed that policy of women voting, I guess you could say. Females' education was more like higher level than the men's. Before this movement begins, what do you think abolition is? So, let's take on the road, talk to someone or something. I don't know, next to you, above you, I don't know, below you maybe, I don't know. So, just chat. Okay. So, I guess you chat or something, or just talk about something else. I don't know. Okay. So, in the 1830s, Americans, if they were a part of slavery, they were helping the abolition. Abolition means like a complete end to slavery. So, yeah, you're probably like, is slavery gonna end? Wow, that must mean what abolition is. Boom! I don't know why I did this. So, that's what basically happened. Now I can't say anymore. It's basically like it's basically a movement where they like enslave about the African Americans. If they were part of the slavery, they're trying to end slavery, and ended it. Well, you guessed it, 1862, ending slavery of slavery. And wait, hold up the phone. One more thing for you. Charles Finley and some other Finley believed, they thought slavery was mentally wrong. Just ending slavery. Okay, I'm just gonna end it here. Okay, guys, thank you. And this is the presentation, end of the presentation. And if you do know my channel, please subscribe. And yeah, and leave a like on this video. Peace out. Yeah. And this is it. If you want to subscribe to Davis Plays, then subscribe to Davis Plays if you want to. But you don't have to. Just saying.